Hey, it's Sunday night. Here I am, 6 p.m., and the time has changed. So now it's so much darker. And I don't know about you, but I had, s- I had such a nice morning. I forget that the time change in November feels so much easier to do than the time change in April. So hey, Tom, good to see you too. Always on time, Tom. Always here, buddy. Glad to have you here. I was just talking about the time change, Tom, and how much easier it feels if we're gonna do it. Honestly, how easier it feels, how much easier it feels in November than it does in April when we do it in the spring when we spring forward. Oh, I hate losing an hour, but gaining an hour was great this morning. Had Tori did not realize, my dog did not realize we had a time change. And so she was waking me up about 6 o'clock. I was like, Tori, this is the day I couldn't sleep in. But for her, it was still 7. She doesn't know the time yet. So, yes, time has come today. Woohoo! And had a great weekend. What just had a perfect, very, very self-healing weekend or Saturday, and then booked a Thai massage. Oh, a Thai massage. If you've ever had a Thai massage, they're amazing. They walk on your back, they crack all your back, and they stretch you. Oh my God, it feels so good. And then this morning I went for a nice 3-mile hike up into Griffith Park. It was just wonderful. And here I am now. And I just a simple thing I wanted to share with you all to listen to or watch now or later on when you might catch this. How do I feel about my to-do list? I am not a super to-do list person. When I do it, I usually knock things out of the park, but for some reason, it's not something that I do regularly. But there is one twist to it, and that is when I'm feeling overwhelmed with my to-do list, with there's a lot of stuff on it, I I change up what I call it. And it's just such a simple little twist here. When you write out the to-do list and you start writing it all down, and it can feel so overwhelming, all these things you need to do. But if we took that list and just made it our get to do list. Yeah, our get to do list. And that might seem like, I don't know, a fluffy way or I don't- a way of looking at stuff. And you're like, come on, Deanna, what are you talking about? But I was taking a look at my list and I was like, I have an email sequence that I want to do, and I have a podcast I want to start, and I got laundry to do, and there was some organizing and some stuff that I wanted to throw out, and that can start thinking like, oh, I got all this shit I have to do, and even that story that I'm telling myself leads me into thinking, oh my gosh, I've got so much shit, like I don't even want to perceive this. But the moment I make the shift to say a get to do list, and I can pull away and start really looking at the stuff that I need to get done, even when I think about the laundry, I'm lucky enough to have laundry. I'm lucky enough to have clothes, that enough clothes. I only have to do laundry like 3 or 4 times a month. It's not like I have to do it regularly. I'm really fortunate about that. Um, and the stuff, the organizing, the stuff that I wanna get rid of, it's like, well, God, how lucky am I that I have that stuff in the first place, that I have these paints, that I was able to paint walls and paint furniture. It's like, okay, the idea of creating this, email sequence that I'm creating, it's like, oh my God, I get to do that. I get to create a community of people who are coming in. Mhm. And so that idea of, oh, I get to do something. When I start looking at it like that, I can really look at this list with a whole different perspective, as opposed to overwhelm and disdain and hate for my list of all these things I have to do. And I can feel the burden on my shoulder even when I start thinking about it. By telling myself these are the things I get to do, and even with a sense of, the privilege of it. And I think when I say that, is in sometimes in our lives, we all have elements of privilege, all of us. And when we can lean into that and see that, and it's not, you know, the privilege that we hear so much um, that leads into systemic racism and all that. And I really do believe that. But the privileges of just having a home over my head, of having laundry to do, of having supplies I was able to buy and now I need to get rid of having clients that I want to engage with. How lucky am I to have a career that I've been crafting and that I've been creating for myself? Like, all of this allows me to have just such a great shift on the things that I'm doing. And I just wanted to share that with you, invite you into that thought. And for you to experiment, you might hear this and go, "Oh, brother Deanna, it's still just a damn list of things I got to do." It might be. And you know what? If that helps you, then great. This is just one perspective. I think for me, when I can approach life with a little bit more, high vibe, a higher vibration, a higher positive view on it, things just seem to get easier. And I that's one of the big questions I have in my life that I often ask myself is, how can I do this with more grace, and how can I make this easier for myself? And when I start thinking that way, it allows me to peel back what all these things that I have to do, or that I have to do a certain way. I had a client this last week who I just love, and we were talking about, yes, exactly, Tom. Um, she sets a really high bar for herself, and then she beats herself up when she can't get over the bar. And we had a great conversation about it. And I suggested to her, what would happen if she could just limbo underneath the bar? What if we could just turn on some music? And I asked her what some of her favorite music was, and I found it on Spotify. And I just said, let's just dance under the bar. It's still going under the bar. It's still going, surpassing the bar, whatever that bar is. There's not a need normally to ever constantly go over the bar. There's a lot of things we can do in our life that we can just limbo underneath the bar and make it way more fun and way more engaging and way more easy. So that's what I'm coming at you with today. That idea of just a subtle shift in your to-do list. It's your get to do list, and think of all those things, the privileges in life that allow you to have these on your to do list. And then what if you could actually, instead of trying to always get over the bar, what if you could just have fun and limbo under the bar to get things done? They don't have to be perfect. Sometimes they just have to get done. All right, my friends. I hope you have a great rest of your day wherever you are. Of course, I'll be writing this up on my blog. If you're ever interested in that, you can go to deannamoffitt.com and check out the website, or you can go to my link tree and certainly sign up for my newsletter. I send out content every week about that, and there's some really fun, exciting things that are coming up this winter. Thanks so much, Tom. See you later, everybody.